Have you ever looked in a mirror and felt like something was missing? Like you're meant for more, but somehow, life keeps pulling you back into the same loop, day in and day out? That's not your limit. That's just your starting point. Every single one of us wakes up with the same 24 hours. The difference lies not in the hours themselves, but in the habits we choose to embrace. Success doesn't arrive overnight. It doesn't knock on your door. It's built day by day, action by action, moment by moment. And it all begins with a decision to break the pattern, to rise above the excuses, and to rewrite your story. If you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or like you're running on a treadmill that never stops, you're not alone. Most people feel that. But here's what separates the extraordinary from the average: the decision to change and the discipline to stick to it. It starts with small, seemingly insignificant actions that, over time, transform your entire life. So let's dive into the very first habit that can change everything: taking responsibility for your life. It's easy to blame circumstances. Easy to say, I didn't have the time, or I wasn't given the right opportunity, or life's been unfair to me. But when you constantly blame others or your situation, you're giving away your power. You're handing over the pen that writes your story to someone else. And let's be honest, how can anyone else write your story better than you? The moment you take full responsibility for your actions, your outcomes, and your future, you become unstoppable. Because once you realize that no one is coming to save you, you stop waiting, you stop wishing, and you start doing. You were not born to live a life controlled by external forces. You were born to take the lead, to drive forward even when the road isn't smooth. When you start accepting where you are in life, not as a reflection of your worth, but as a result of your choices, you unlock something powerful. You see things clearly. You stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as a creator. Let's be real, life isn't always fair, but it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to test you. It's supposed to push you. Because that pressure, that's what creates diamonds. Taking responsibility means owning your past without shame, owning your present with purpose, and owning your future with vision. It means realizing that even if you didn't create every problem in your life, it's still your job to solve it. That's how leaders are born, not when things are easy, but when they choose to act even when things are hard. You want to change your life? Start by saying these words: I am responsible. Say them loud. Say them with conviction, and then act like it, because your actions speak far louder than your intentions ever could. You can't control every event that happens to you, but you can control how you respond to it. You can control your attitude, your work ethic, your focus, and your willingness to keep going. That's where your power lies, not in what happens to you, but in how you show up in response. Let's say life knocks you down. Fine, it happens. But are you staying down, or are you rising with more strength than before? That's the question. The people who rise are not the ones who had the easiest paths. They're the ones who made the strongest decisions. They're the ones who said, no matter what, I'm not giving up. I'm not making excuses. I'm owning my path. This is not about being perfect. It's about being accountable. When you take ownership, your confidence grows. Why? Because you stop relying on external validation. You build self-trust. You trust yourself to figure it out, to stand tall in the face of adversity, to keep going when others would quit. Every habit starts with a mindset, and the mindset of responsibility is the foundation of all lasting success. The moment you decide to stop blaming and start building, you begin to rise. You become the architect of your own destiny. No more waiting for signs. No more waiting for someone to come along and change your life. That someone is already here. It's you. Look around. The life you're living today is a reflection of your past habits and choices. And that means the life you'll live tomorrow is shaped by what you choose today. You want a different outcome? Then it's time for different actions. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Right now. This is your moment. The world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe it to yourself to become everything you were meant to be. And that starts with owning it all. The good, the bad, and everything in between. This first habit isn't just a step. It's a shift. A powerful one. When you take responsibility, you don't just change your direction. You change your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone trying to succeed and start becoming someone who does. That's where the breakthrough happens. That's where the transformation begins. Now, this habit is only the beginning. There's more, much more. Because once you've taken responsibility, you've laid the foundation. But a foundation means nothing without the structure that goes on top of it. And that's where the next habit comes in. A habit that builds on this mindset and turns it into momentum. A habit that sharpens your focus and fuels your drive. One that separates those who dream from those who do. And when you understand this next principle, you'll see how everything begins to align. Your actions, your energy, your purpose. One habit at a time. So now that you've taken full responsibility for your life, you've claimed your power back. You're no longer waiting for change. You're creating it. And that right there is the first step to real transformation. But now it's time to go deeper. Because taking responsibility sets the foundation. But the next habit? That's what builds the structure that elevates your life to an entirely new level. The second habit that will completely change your life is mastering your morning. You might be thinking, really? Just waking up earlier? But it's so much more than that. Your morning is your launch pad. The way you begin your day determines how you experience the rest of it. You see, when you win the morning, you set the tone. You take control before the world even gets a chance to push you around. Most people wake up and immediately check their phones. They dive into other people's lives, opinions, problems, and chaos before they've even had a moment to breathe, before they've taken a second to think about their life, their goals, or what they need to focus on. That's like starting a race already 5 steps behind. And worse, it's a habit that builds anxiety, confusion, and lack of clarity. You're starting your day in reaction mode instead of in creation mode. What if instead of rushing, instead of scrolling, instead of snoozing the alarm over and over, you made a different choice? What if your morning was intentional, calm, powerful, purposeful? This is where winners are made. It's not about how early you wake up. It's about what you do when you do. It's about creating a ritual that strengthens your mind, primes your focus, and sets you on fire with clarity and purpose. Imagine waking up and taking even just a few minutes to center yourself. No distractions, no noise, just you, your thoughts, your breath. This is your time. Before the world starts pulling at you, before emails, messages, and stress kick in, you choose you. That's what mastering your morning is all about. It's about showing up for yourself first, before you show up for anyone else. Start small. Maybe it's just 10 minutes of silence, or writing down what you're grateful for, or outlining your top 3 goals for the day. Maybe it's stretching, reading something inspiring, or simply sipping your coffee in peace while reflecting on where you're headed. These aren't random routines. These are the habits that shape world changers. Because when you begin your day with intention, everything changes. You walk into situations with calm confidence. You handle stress with clarity. You make better decisions because your mind is clear. And most of all, you stop letting the outside world dictate your internal state. Think about how many days you've lost to overwhelm, to noise, to other people's demands. You wake up already feeling behind, already stressed. But what if, just what if, you decided that your peace was your priority, that your growth mattered more than your distractions? Mastering your morning is about discipline. It's about committing to a mindset that says, my life is too important to be lived by default. You weren't born to be average. You weren't born to coast through life. You were born to rise, and rising starts at the beginning of your day. The truth is, the hardest part is not waking up. It's staying consistent. Anyone can do it once or twice, but the power comes from making it non-negotiable. Just like brushing your teeth, just like taking a shower. You do it without question, because it's part of who you are now. Someone who owns the morning, someone who creates the day instead of reacts to it. And here's something most people don't realize. Your morning doesn't just affect your productivity. It affects your confidence. When you keep the promise you made to yourself to wake up and pour into your growth, your confidence grows. Not because of what you did, but because of what it represents. Discipline, commitment, and belief in your future. You might say, I'm not a morning person. But let me tell you this. It's not about being a morning person. It's about being a purpose-driven person, a mission-driven person, someone who knows that the life they want isn't built by luck, it's built by habits. Even on the days you don't feel like it, especially on the days you don't feel like it, that's when it counts the most. Because discipline isn't about doing what's easy. It's about doing what's necessary, even when it's hard. You've already made the decision to take responsibility for your life. Now you back that decision with action, consistent daily action. Because it's not what you do once that changes you. It's what you do every single day, without fail, that shapes your identity. This is how you stack wins. One intentional morning at a time. One focused routine at a time. And soon, your life begins to shift. You're no longer the person chasing clarity. You are clarity. You're no longer the one waiting for direction. You create direction. The beauty of this habit is that it's fully in your control. No one else can take it from you. No one else needs to give you permission. You own it. You shape it. And once it becomes part of you, it will anchor you, even on the hardest days. And here's the best part. You don't need to start perfectly. You just need to start. Wake up 10 minutes earlier. Build the momentum. Then expand it, bit by bit, brick by brick. Because that's how greatness is built, not with a single leap, but with 1,000 consistent steps. Let the world be chaotic. Let the distractions come. You'll still be grounded because you've chosen a different path. One rooted in strength, clarity, and purpose. But this is just the beginning. Because once you've claimed your mornings, you'll realize that every part of your life starts to align. You think clearer. You feel stronger. And that naturally flows into the next shift, the next habit. Because after you've taken responsibility and mastered your morning, the next step is inevitable. It's about what you feed your mind, your emotions, and your vision throughout the day. It's the fuel that keeps your fire alive. And it's a habit that few master, but those who do, they never go back. Get ready, because what comes next might just be the most underestimated game changer of them all. What if you could unlock a mindset so powerful that it turns every challenge into an opportunity? Imagine a spark inside you that grows brighter every day, no matter what life throws your way. That spark is real, and it's waiting for you to ignite it, starting right now. You've already taken massive steps. You've claimed responsibility for your life, refusing to let excuses hold you back. You've mastered your mornings, setting a tone of purpose and clarity that carries you forward. But the journey doesn't stop there. Transformation isn't a one-time event. It's a fire you keep fueling. Today, we're diving into a habit so simple yet so profound that it can reshape how you see the world and yourself. It's not about working harder or chasing more. It's about shifting your perspective to unlock joy, resilience, and unshakable strength. Let's talk about the third habit that will elevate your life to a whole new level, cultivating gratitude. Gratitude isn't just a buzzword or a fleeting feeling. It's a deliberate practice, a muscle you build every single day. When you cultivate gratitude, you train your mind to focus on what's good, what's possible, and what's already yours. It's like putting on a new pair of glasses that reveal the beauty in moments you might otherwise overlook. I used to rush through my days, fixated on what was missing: more money, more time, more success. But then I started a simple practice. Every evening, I'd write down 3 things I was thankful for. Some days, it was big wins, like landing a new project. Other days, it was small joys, like the warmth of my coffee or a kind word from a friend. At first, it felt awkward, almost forced. But as the days passed, something incredible happened. My entire outlook shifted. I started noticing the good around me, the laughter of a colleague, the breeze on a walk, the fact that I had a chance to try again tomorrow. Gratitude didn't erase my problems, but it gave me the strength to face them with a lighter heart. This habit isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to see the light, even when the shadows feel heavy. When you practice gratitude, you rewire your brain. Studies show it boosts happiness, reduces stress, and even improves sleep. But beyond the science, it's personal. One evening, after a tough day where everything seemed to go wrong, I sat down to write my 3 things. I was frustrated, ready to skip it, but I forced myself to start. I was thankful for a warm meal, for my ability to keep going, for the quiet of the night. As I wrote, my anger softened. I realized those small moments were anchors, grounding me when life felt unsteady. That's the power of gratitude. It doesn't change your circumstances. It changes you. It turns scarcity into abundance, doubt into hope, and fear into courage. You start each day with a fuller heart, ready to seize opportunities others might miss. But here's the challenge. Life is loud, and it's easy to lose sight of what matters. We live in a world that thrives on comparison. Social media bombards you with images of perfect lives, bigger houses, fancier vacations, shinier achievements. It's tempting to focus on what you don't have, to feel like you're falling behind. I fell into that trap too. I'd scroll through my phone, comparing my behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. It left me drained, envious, and disconnected from my own journey. The problem isn't just the noise. It's that we let it drown out our own voice. We forget to celebrate our wins, no matter how small. We overlook the progress we've made, the strength we've shown, the life we're building. And when you're stuck in that cycle of lack, it's hard to move forward. You feel ungrateful, uninspired, and trapped in a loop of not enough. That's the real barrier, letting the world's expectations steal your ability to see the beauty in your own story. So how do you break free? It starts with intention. Cultivating gratitude is a choice, and it's one you make daily. Begin with a simple practice. At the end of each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be profound. Maybe it's a sunny day, a good conversation, or the fact that you showed up despite feeling tired. If writing isn't your thing, speak them out loud or reflect quietly. The key is consistency. Make it non-negotiable, like brushing your teeth. To keep it fresh, vary your focus. Some days, think about people who lifted you up. Others, reflect on moments that brought you peace. Another trick is to pair it with your morning routine. After mastering your morning, add a gratitude moment. As you sip your coffee, name one thing you're thankful for. This builds a habit loop, anchoring your day in positivity. I also found it helpful to keep a small notebook by my bed, so I'd never skip a day, even when life got hectic. Over time, these small acts add up, creating a mindset that sees possibility everywhere. The turning point came one evening when I was feeling overwhelmed. My to-do list was endless, and I felt like I was failing at everything. I sat down, reluctant, to write my 3 things. I started with something small. I was grateful for the music playing in the background, a song that lifted my mood. Then, I wrote about a friend who checked in on me, reminding me I wasn't alone. Finally, I noted my own resilience. Despite the chaos, I was still trying. As I closed the notebook, I felt lighter. The problems were still there, but they no longer defined me. I realized gratitude wasn't about ignoring the hard stuff. It was about finding balance. It was about choosing to see the good, not because I had to, but because it fueled me to keep going. That night, I slept better than I had in weeks, waking up with a renewed sense of purpose. That's when I knew gratitude isn't just a habit, it's a superpower. It transforms how you show up, how you face challenges, and how you build your future. To wrap this up, cultivating gratitude is about rewriting the lens through which you see your life. It's not about denying struggles. It's about embracing the strength to rise above them. When you practice gratitude, you stop chasing what's missing and start celebrating what's here. You build resilience, clarity, and a joy that no external force can take away. This habit connects beautifully with the responsibility you've claimed and the mornings you've mastered. It's the fuel that keeps your fire burning, no matter the storm. Start tonight. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Make it a promise to yourself. Watch how it shifts your perspective, day by day, until you're not just living, you're thriving. But don't stop here. Gratitude opens your heart, but the next habit sharpens your mind. It's about feeding your potential with knowledge and growth, turning every day into a chance to become more. Get ready, because what comes next will push you to new heights, building on everything you've started. Keep going. Your transformation is just getting started.